Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Raja Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jayo Krishna Balaram, Jayo Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jayo Krishna Balaram. Jayo Nittai Gauranga, Jayo Nittai Gauranga, Nittai Gauranga, Jayo Nittai Gauranga. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 10th chapter, text numbers 2 to 3. Please repeat after me. Shri Shuka Uvacha. Shri Shuka Uvacha. Rudrasyanucharau bhutva. Rudrasyanucharau bhutva. Sudrupthau danadatmajau. Sudrupthau danadatmajau. Kailasopavane ramye. Kailasopavane ramye. Mandakinyam madotkatau. Mandakinyam madotkatau. Varunim Madhiram Pitva. Varunim Madhiram Pitva. Madha Gurnita Lochanau. Madha Gurnita Lochanau. Sri Janair Anugaya Bihis. Sri Janair Anugayad Bis. Cheratuhu Pushpite Vane. Cheratuhu pushpite vane. Shri Shuka uvacha. Rudrasyanucharo bhutva. Sudruptau danadatmajo. Kailasopavane ramye. Mandakinya madotkato. Varunim madiram pitva. Madagurnita lochano. Sri Janair Anugayad Bis. Cheratu pushpite vane. Shri Shuka uvacha. Rudrasyanucharo bhutva. Sudruptau danadatmajo. Kailasopavane ramye. Mandakinya madotkatau. Varunim madiram pitva. Madagurnita lochanau. Sri Janair Anugayadvis. Cheratu pushpite vane. Shri Shuka uvacha. Rudrasyanucharo bhutva. Sudruptau danadatmajo. Kailasopavane ramye. Nandakinya madotkatau. Varuni maduram pitva. Madagurnita lochano. Sri Janair Anugayadbi. Cheratu pushpite vane. Shri Shuka uvacha. Shri Shukadeva Goswami replied, Rudrasya, of Lord Shiva, Anucharao, two great devotees or associates, Bhutva, being elevated to that post, Sudruptau, being proud of that position, and their beautiful bodily features. Dhanada Atmajao, the two sons of Kuvera, treasurer of the demigods. Kailasha Upavane, in a small garden attached to Kailasha Parvata, the residence of Lord Shiva. Ramye, in a very beautiful place. Mandakinyam, on the river Mandakini. Mada Utkathau, terribly proud and mad. Varunim, a kind of liquor named Varuni. Madiram, intoxication. Pitva, drinking. Mada Agurnita Lochanau, their eyes rolling with intoxication. Stri Janaihi, with woman. Anugayad Bihi, vibrating songs sung by them. Cheratuhu, wandered. Pushpite vane, in a nice flower garden. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Please repeat after me. Shukadeva Goswami said, O King Parikshit, Because the two sons of Kuvera had been elevated to the association of Lord Shiva, of which they were very much proud, they were allowed to wander in a garden attached to Kailasa hill on the bank of the Mandakini river. Taking advantage of this, they used to drink a kind of liquor called Varuni, accompanied by women singing after them. They would wander in that gardens of flower, their eyes always rolling in intoxication. This verse mentions some of the material advantages afforded to persons associated with or devoted to Lord Shiva. Apart from Lord Shiva, if one is a devotee of any other demigod, one receives some material advantages. Foolish people, therefore, become devotees of demigods. This has been pointed out and criticized by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita 7.20. Kamaistair hutagnana prapadyante anya devataha. Those who are not devotees of Krishna have a taste for women, wine, and so forth, and therefore they have been described as hrutagnana, bereft of sense. The Krishna consciousness movement can very easily point out such foolish persons, for they have been indicated in Bhagavad Gita 7.15, where Lord Krishna says, Namam dushkritino mudhaha prapadyante naradamaha mayaya pahrutagnana asuram bhavamashritaha. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake of the atheistic nature of demons, do not surrender unto me. Anyone who is not a devotee of Krishna and does not surrender to Krishna must be considered Naradhama, the lowest of men, and Dushkriti, one who always commits sinful activities. Thus, there is no difficulty in finding out who is a third class or fourth class man, for one's position can be understood simply by this crucial test. Is he or is he not a devotee of Krishna? Why are devotees of the demigods greater in number than the Vaishnavas? The answer is given herein. Vaishnavas are not interested in such fourth class pleasures as wine and women, nor does Krishna allow them such facilities. Om Agnana Timirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yenam Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pasyata Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktarunda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is a wonderful description of Sanatana Goswami. He is longing to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we know about the whole pastimes of how he um, escapes from his shall we say imprisonment of being, the Prime Minister of the Nawab of Bengal. Somebody hears this and says, what? You're the Prime Minister, and see here now we're all worried about, will I have my job today or tomorrow? Will they fire me or not? Sanatana Goswami wanted to fire himself, but his boss would not allow him to be fired. And so he plotted a scheme. He said, let me call in sick and keep doing this for a long time, so then the Nawab will get tired and he'll just let me go. Right? And so he called in sick, and then he said, okay, just like everybody says, hope you feel better soon. And, you say one day, today he'll be sick, he'll come back, some fever, something. But he had a different scheme altogether. He gathered a whole set of brahmanas, and in the house, they started reading Bhagavatam. Bhagavad Katha was going on. One day went, 2 days went. After this went on for many days, then the Nawab came to know that this is going on. Then he took the extreme step, let me do a unsolicited visit. And he suddenly showed up. And there everybody is sitting nicely and reading Bhagavatam. And this is how we got caught. And then the Nawab said, and then Sanatana said, please let me go, I'm done with all of these things. He said, no, how can you do this? If you go away, who will take care of all this, responsibilities? Because he was very, very skilled, highly qualified, proficient in many languages, and highly, obviously, with his elevated consciousness, he ruled very nicely, and everything was running nicely in the kingdom. And then I'll just tell the story in a short way. That's not the main thing I was trying to tell. So then they imprisoned him, and then he had to bribe the jailkeeper with 5,000 gold coins, and he escaped. So while he was escaping and coming towards Varanasi, he came to know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Varanasi to meet him. His brother-in-law, he said, you're giving up everything and you're just going? It's going to be a little cold in those mountains. You have to go through forests and all that. Take this shawl, and he gave him a nice shawl, blanket. And he was just wearing his devotee dress and this blanket. That's the only thing. He left everything. He was extremely opulent, very powerful. He was very young, his late 20s, early 30s. All the hallmarks of highly successful people. But he gave up everything to be with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu starts preaching to him in Varanasi. And then Sanatana Goswami notices something. He notices that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is looking at his blanket a little bit, intensely. And being an exalted devotee, he could sense what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was subtly sending a message. Because you can imagine very aristocratic families. Do you think they'll have some cheap blanket? I mean, that's a normal shawl he used to wear. It must have been some super fine, what is that, Kashmiri, what is that, Kashmiri thing? pashmina wool. You know, I keep telling this. During the time of the Romans, when the Romans were the peak of their opulence, what today America is, not today, sorry, in the 1970s, what America was, 1950s, America was the most powerful nation in the whole world. And when Prabhupada went to New York, that's why Prabhupada said, America is the most powerful nation in the world. New York is the most important nation, city in the world. Right? That's why he wanted, within that he said, Fifth Avenue is the most important street in the world. And that's why they should, Jagannath Baladev Subhadramaya should do Rath Yatra over there. Right? And that's the order of this thing. So like that, in the Roman Empire, a significant portion of the Roman wealth was coming to India. Because they were all buying garments from India. Because they were considered the finest of fine garments. So like this, very special blanket, he was wearing. Then he could sense. So immediately next day, he went to the bank of the Ganges. And one poor Brahmana, he washed his cloth and he had a quilted blanket. You know how, when you can't afford it, pieces and pieces of cloth, they will just join and make a blanket out of it. It was not even one contiguous thing. And he was drying it over there. And Sanatana Goswami goes to him and says, I have a small favor to ask you. And this Brahmana is like, looks such a nice, yes, how can I help you? Please tell me. Your order is my command. I'm sorry, your wish is my command. And so he says, can I please exchange, this my blanket with yours? And Brahman like, why are you doing this? So this is useless thing. Just take it. Why you want to give this to me? No, please. I want to exchange this. And then he goes with that. Next day, when he goes for his lessons with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's wearing that quilted this thing, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, "It's very nice. Where did you get it?" So he explains, how he exchanged it. He said, "Very good." And he says, I was worried. I'll read a verse. It's a very interesting verse. It says, Thina mudrara bhota gaya, madhukari grasa, dharma hanihaya, loka kare upahasa. Loka kare upahasa means, upahasa is what? Make fun. Loka kare upahasa. Why? It is contradictory to practice madhukari. Madhukari means you go from, just like a honeybee, you go from house to house and collect just a little. Begging like a bee, and at the same time wear a valuable blanket. Sometimes, when you see some rich people wearing something, immediately you can make, this is like, if the rich people are wearing something that looks like silver and, some shiny things, if a poor person is wearing that, they'll say some silver and, some artificial diamond. Right? Some rich person is wearing. I remember, I've seen a picture of this Ambani's daughter's wedding. It looked like silver and this thing, but it is platinum and some super rare diamonds worth hundreds of crores or something. Immediately you can make out this thing. So like that, if you see this rich blanket, somebody will understand, this is pesha, what is that, Pashmina wool. Immediately you can make out. It shines and it's kind of. So he's saying, at the same time you wear a valuable blanket. By doing this, one loses spiritual strength and one simply becomes an object of ridicule. This is a very, very powerful thing. He had given up everything And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to give up the only other thing he left. Very similar, there is a verse in Queen Kunti's prayers that talks about opulence and spiritual life. Which one? Right. 1:826. Janmashwarya Shruta Shri Bher Edamana Madah Puman Naivarhati Abhidhatum Vai Tvam Akinchana Gocharam. The purport of this verse is very, very beautiful. We have some time. I'll just read a part of the purport. It's extremely instructive. Why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him to do this? Why Prabhupada gave these instructions? So I'll read first the translation. My Lord, your Lordship can easily be approached, but only by those who are materially exhausted. One who is on the path of material progress, trying to improve himself with respectable parentage, great opulence, high education, and bodily beauty, cannot approach you with sincere feelings. Right? Akinchana Gocharam, one who has been material exhausted, only they can approach him. So, in this purport, I'll just read being materially advanced means taking birth in an aristocratic family and possessing great wealth and education and attractive personal beauty. So who doesn't want this? Everybody is thinking Janma Aishwarya Shruta Shri, right? We want it, but we want it in connection with Krishna. Krishna will use it for you, like that. But still, listen to this. All materialistic men are mad after possessing all these material opulences. And this is known as the advancement of material civilization. But the result is that by possessing all these material assets, one becomes artificially puffed up, intoxicated by such temporary possessions. Consequently, such materially puffed up persons are incapable of uttering the holy name of the Lord by addressing him feelingly. Again, same thing. Addressing him feelingly. O Govinda, O Krishna. It is said in the Shastras that by once uttering the holy name of the Lord, the sinner gets rid of a quantity of sins that he is unable to commit. Such is the power of uttering the holy name of the Lord. There is not the least exaggeration in this statement. Actually, the Lord's holy name has such powerful potency. But there is a quality to such utterances also. He's saying, yes, but you have to utter it with quality. It depends on the quality of feeling. A helpless man can feelingly utter the holy name of the Lord, whereas a man who utters the same holy name in great material satisfaction cannot be so sincere. A materially puffed up person may utter the holy name of the Lord occasionally, but is incapable of uttering the name in quality. Therefore, the four principles of material advancement, namely high parentage, good wealth, high education, attractive beauty, are, so to speak, disqualifications for progress on the path of spiritual advancement. So, here we are seeing how Queen Kunti is bringing out this fine point, and Prabhupada so nicely is explaining that when one is, materially interested, they cannot make advancement. There is another very nice verse in the Bhagavad Gita that illustrates the same point. Which is that? Bhogaishvarya prasaktanam tayaha parita chetasam vyavasayatmika buddhi samadho na vidiyate. 2.44. Bhoga Aishvarya Prasaktanam. You see, so I'll just read. So basically, in the minds of those who are attached to sense enjoyment, which is bhoga, and material opulence, Aishvarya, Prasaktam is who are interested, who are bewildered by such things, Taya apahrita chetasam. What happens? Vyavasayatmika buddhihi. The resolute determination for devotional service does not take place. Samadhana vidiyate. We will say, okay, as long as it fits with my things, I will do. Otherwise, you don't become fixed up. Right? You keep licking the honey is there, you keep licking the bottle. When you lick the bottle of honey, some taste will be there. What is the taste? So sometime when you're opening the honey, something would have slipped on the side and it would have hardened. You have to open the bottle, then only eating honey. But something has slipped on the side that is there, that you're thinking, oh, such wonderful this thing. But just imagine if you're able to actually open the jar and take the honey, how much more pleasurable it's going to be. And how unfortunate it is that our whole life is just keep sitting in the jar and keep licking the side of it. Right? So, we are being requested to not, get entangled like this. See, there are very interesting things in this purport. The description of Varuni is given. You see, this Varuni is an intoxicant, yes, but it is an intoxicant in the mode of goodness. So, actually, because what happens, in this material world, well, always, wherever you are, right, they say that, for a person who is not satisfied, even the position of Brahma is not going to satisfy you. Why? Brahma will think, hey, I have only 4 heads. Look at him, he has 100 heads. I need to have 100 heads. Oh, yeah, at least 100, at least give me 101 heads, that's all. I'm not asking for more. There is no end. There's always somebody who's higher than you and somebody who's lower than you. So there's no end to this. So, because in any position, what does being intoxicated mean? Why do people drink? Why do people drink in this material world? Huh? Forget the... What is that? Forget the reality. Right? When they drink, I don't have personal experience in this matter, but I've been told. There is a lot of scientific discussion of what exactly happens, right? The neural receptors, the synaptics, between every neuron there is a synapses. The neurotransmitters that translate energy between the two, and that's how we are able to remember something. Neurons, then there's a pathway that is traced, and that's a memory. And so this alcohol goes and binds to the neurotransmitters, and it physically reduces the flow of energy, flow of electricity between neurons. And so when that happens, circuits are not formed strongly. Like, when they do any, even these fundraising programs and all that, they actually say, as long as the wine keeps flowing, the donations keep coming. I said, Hare Krishna. Because what happens, all that they'll forget everything. They'll get in a mood of, this thing, everything looks nice. And, I think your vision also gets a little blurred. So, all the little bit imperfections are all gone, and everybody looks beautiful, everybody looks wonderful, everything looks nice. But in this material world, in our Bhuloka, unfortunately, all our intoxicants are, what are they? They are the mode of ignorance, tamoguna. You associate with anything tamoguna, what happens? Serious reaction will be there. Right? That is so even if you really want to get intoxicated, you will see all rich people, they will drink. They will spend thousands of dollars on exotic wines and this and that. Everybody does. Why? Because they are remembering, how heavenly planets were. In heavenly planets, it's nice to do, because why it is nice to do means it is okay to do, because it is a sattvic this thing. Effect is the same. You will be compromised. You are not at your sharpest. But it is not like a horrible this thing, like in the material. Here, somebody is drunk, it's like a stinky thing and this thing. I'm sure Varuni is nothing stinky and all that. It's like nice. In fact, Balram Jayanti, they make some drink called Varuni. It's not actual Varuni, but they call it Varuni kind of thing. Even, there is a saying, in Kannada, what is gasagase in your other languages? Poppy seeds, right? It's called gasagase paisa. It's called the intoxication of the brahmanas. You can have a little gasagase paisa and then you also feel because it's still a sattvic thing to do. They'll start making gasagase paisa from two. It's got very little. Not the opium's poppy seeds, but very little effect it has. So they were intoxicated like this, and the point is, you're still licking the bottle of the honey. Param drishtvana nivarta. If you are able to taste the nectar of the holy name, even a small part of it, you will say, what is this? Sukham tucham. What is this nonsense? Varuni and all these things. What is this pleasure, from, wine, women and all this? Such low pleasure it is. Such low pleasure. But today, we do not experience that. We have this thing. So, as devotees, we have to practice this practically in our lives. That is why Prabhupada gave us the principle of simple living and high thinking. And we have to practically practice this. What does that translate into? Our personal lives, our personal lifestyle, we have to be very, very, very conscious. A few days back, we were buying this EVs, and some tax grant and all those things. A Volvo XC40 was available for practically the same price, like $1,000 more than a ID4. And we had a discussion for a few minutes. Should we buy a XC40 Volvo or this thing? And then, because I didn't know the difference between the two. Somebody told me, Volvo XC40 is considered like a rich people's car. Is it like a luxury car kind of a thing? Then immediately we decided to buy ID4. Because actually speaking, it's a better car, it's a this thing, but ID4 is also a good car. The point is, when somebody sees you in that car, Swamiji is going around in an XC40. They won't know we paid $15,000 for it. They will think you spent $40,000. Then, same, you're doing Madhukari. You're asking for donation. You buy one less car and you give donation, they will say. You are trying to give a message that is so sublime. Forget all these stupid things. You just chant Hare Krishna. You can go back to Godhead. There are Kalpatarus, which will give you whatever you want. Pushpaka Vimana, it will give you golden aeroplane. Why are you worried about XC-40? No, but that message we cannot give with confidence if we ourselves are not following these things. So that's why, again, there is a fine understanding to this. By prarabdha karma, different people are born in different things. Like for example, if you drive around a ID4 in India, they'll say, what is Swamiji driving an ID4 only? They will tell. So in India, when they buy a car, I think some Alto or something, what is the standard car they buy? Some Wagon-R, some Alto, some normal, this thing, so that it doesn't look like, your basic comfort will be there, basic thing. It gets the job done nicely. Here, ID4, everybody has it. It's a temple issue car, they say. And it gets the job done. Nice car, nice this thing. And we only paid 10, 11,000, 12,000 for it. No problem. Right? So like that we have to be very cautious about every aspect of it. We have to do this introspection of our lives. Are we getting attached to opulences and these things and things like that? Because why? It will take you away. If you're attached to, I should have a nice family, nice husband, nice wife, nice house, nice this thing, everything should be nice. Yeah, everything will be nice. But your progress in Krishna consciousness will not be that nice. In the sense that if that becomes part of your this thing. So one has to be careful and think about this and practice simple living, high thinking. Prabhupada gave us very nice, this thing. In fact, that is why he said, you're a grostha, you give 50% of your income, then doesn't matter whether you're a grostha or a brahmachari or this thing, you'll say. Because one is able to really practice that and give this thing, then you'll say, okay. At that point, you yourself will develop detachment from these things. You'll say, I don't need this. Right? I really don't need this and this thing. Let me live a simple life. And we see Prabhupada instill this, and we can follow in the footsteps of wonderful acharyas and practice this. We'll stop here. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jai Srila Prabhupada ki. Bol Premana.